Go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Mira, and I will be playing Sammy Satomi today. And with me is the very wonderful...
Hi. I am Spec, and I am just as wonderful as my lovely co-host, and I will be playing the Storm Boy, Timmy,
whom we love very much.
Sammy, our beloved.
we just hold each other's characters and go, character our beloved.
Exactly.
That is the vibes. This takes place a little bit after the Disappearance of Camille Christie games, and alongside the FPS that was sandwiched in between those two games. So this will probably contain some spoilers because and regarding that could very well bring us up to a medium in Angst rating, but we are aiming for mild because these two boys have a lot of in common that isn't just Angst.
Yeah, they've got... Is my mic picking up? It doesn't flash green all the time. They got a lot in common. They're our beloveds.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm gonna take the DM reins a little bit. Oh. And Timmy, how exactly did you hear about this color changing toon in the hospital?
Well, as of course, it comes from his dear brother Jubilee, who I don't remember how. Let me quickly see. What did Jubilee tell Timmy about Sammy? Because I remember, Timmy overheard from Jubilee in the standard Jubilee is being Jubilee moments about a color changing toon who he was he showed some concern about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Timmy heard about a color changing toon who had been going through some stuff, was at the hospital.
And Tiffany, what is your plan to get there?
See, a smart person would go about this logically, would do something normal. But I don't play smart characters. So, instead, we have a Timmy who's like, I'm gonna do this because this person, Jubilee, seems to care about them on somewhat level, which means I should be nice to them. I'm totally only going to visit them because they probably are lonely and should have someone checking on them. It totally isn't because I heard that they were color changing and I want to see if another one actually exists. This is totally normal. God. So Timmy is gonna go to the hospital and he is trying his absolute best to seem like he fits in there. It's not going well. But I'm probably gonna roll. Right. I'm probably gonna roll like a stealth. Yep.
Yeah, I was about to say roll stealth. Let's see how well you can blend in with the staff.
Okay, come on, come on, Timmy, please. You got a decent modifier on this one. Don't let me have just jinxed it. Yo! Nat 20 plus 7!
Nat 20 plus 7! You are as quiet as a mouse. You look like you completely belong there. Like, the rule of toons just being able to disguise themselves. You probably nabbed a spare hospital coat or something on the way in. You look completely like you belong as you're strolling through this hospital wing.
Sorry, I'm just imagining Timmy just casually whistling as he walks down the hallway, just like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, just definitely going to check on somebody I absolutely know. Personally, for a long time. Totally am not sneaking in here. He's whistling his own theme song. Kronk style.
I want to see how long it takes you to actually find the right room. So I want you to roll me survival real quick.
Oh, come on, Timmy. Please let this one be. I kind of want this one to fail because I think it'd be really funny. Yep. Okay. There's our normal Timmy rolls. That's a 7.
Yep. Like you don't really like it's not a nat 1. It's just a 7. So I'm going to say that you're able to peek in to the windows to see who exactly is inside. And you're just like, oh, this is empty. Oh, that's occupied. Not who I think it is. Just keeps going down the hallway. It takes you a while to find the right hospital room. And as you've been wandering through the hospital wing of this, I don't remember what they call certain areas. Anyways, you're walking through this hospital wing, you notice like while you're peeking through some of the rooms in the windows and stuff, you notice that a storm is starting to roll in. Like the dark classic thunderstorm clouds that you really, really love are starting to roll in, and as you find the right room, rain just barely starts to hit the windows.
Timmy is absolutely calmed by this. It's probably part of the reason he's able to sneak in is because any bit of nerves he has sneaking in here, any bit of, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, is calmed by the rain. And then he finally spots the right room, and he can tell from the description this has to be the person Jubilee was talking about. So, casually sliding the code off, because he doesn't want to walk in with the code. Does not need that confusion. He kind of just casually hangs it up outside and then very quietly slides into the room with a very gentle knock on the door as he closes the door behind him.
Okay. And you see on kind of like sitting up in the bed, kind of just watching the rain hit the window, you see a pretty tall Toon. His hair is rainbow and his shading is... what are you feeling, bud? Let me just really quickly try and get a vibe check on my boy, because... how are you, buddy? Oh, okay. You're actually doing kind of good right now. All right, probably helps that you're not stuck out in the rain. And he just kind of just with his like hand, like his hand kind of cupping his chin, watching the rain hit the one window, and he kind of like slightly starts, because you got a nat 20 on your stealth. So the knock, I feel, is pretty sudden, and he kind of like mildly starts a little bit, and his shading goes sky blue as he turns around and sees someone he doesn't know. Also, I will mention his hair is in kind of like a top bun type of situation, with two white pairs of chopsticks, or well, hairpins, I should say.
Beloved.
If you want, though, you can try and roll me an investigation.
Of course, any chance I have at oh god, you can tell this is not my detective character. Okay, decent, semi-decent. 11.
Yeah, you don't see through the hairpin of disguise, though.
Good.
So
okay.
You just see a Toon who is kind of just blinking at you. His eyes are gold, and his cheeks are have rainbow markings on his face, and he's in the hospital gown still, and his arms are bare because hospital gown.
Yeah.
And like there are like a few bandages wrapped around his head, and that's all you can really see because like the blankets are covering everything, and he just kind of Like from sky blue, his shading goes to gray as he tilts his head and is like, hi, are you looking for someone?
Would his bandana turns a slight shade of violet as he kind of rubs his arm. It's like, are you Sammy by any chance? Yeah.
Yeah, my name's Sammy. Yeah. I'm just gonna roll perception to see if he caught on to the bandana changing the purple. What is your perception again, my boy?
Mood.
I don't play him for a day and I forget his modifiers. Okay, that's a 14.
Yeah, I would say you see it. It sits pretty obvious right there, front and center.
Yep. Okay, his shading has gone back to sky blue as he kind of just blinks at you and he kind of raises a hand and points and goes, "You're a color changing toon, just like me."
Shit. What is that color again? When you don't make an official chart and everything stays up in your head, and it's good at first because then you don't rely on the chart, but then you have to remember what that emotion is.
Oh, mood.
Yeah.
Like there are some colors that I forget to put onto the color chart.
Okay. Yeah, I keep some of his secret. I think it's still the same violet. It's a lighter violet though. Mixed leans a bit more towards the bit more towards the turquoise color. As his eyes widen, he goes, yeah, that's do you know what Jubilee?
Roll me insight.
Yeah. Man, he has the opposite proficiencies as my other two. Yeah, that's only an 11.
Okay, with a blue. Why did I say blue? With an 11. With an 11, he kind of. Oh, brain, give me words. With an 11, he kind of hunches into himself a little bit as he gives you a nod, and his shading kind of goes lilac, but you don't you don't know for sure if this is nerves or not because other color changing toons could have different colors, meaning different things. You don't know what that means, really.
Yeah, he's never met a color changing toon before. He doesn't know what this is, how this is supposed to work. He kind of he does tell something. He can tell something is wrong, but he can't be sure. His bandana turns a lot more turquoise around the edges. As he kind of rubs his arms and goes, my name is Timmy. Jubilee is my, you see, he's my brother. And, he mentioned you, and he mentioned your color changing toon, and, looking at this may not have been a smart choice, but you see, I haven't actually met a color changing toon before. So I may have, I wanted to come say hi to you, because, you're probably really lonely, and, actually, let me make a perception to see if he sees if anybody else is in the room. Is anybody else in the room? Question mark. Looks
I
at
do
gallery.
say that I kind of pictured that Arata had ducked down into the kitchens to try and get something that's not gonna make upset.
Okay, so they are alone. So we are good.
So they are alone right now, but there is
a chance
signs of visitors having been there.
All right.
I pictured there's a few flowers.
Yeah, he doesn't see that.
I would say for the audience that those are flowers from his garden that Arata probably brought with him.
Timmy does not see any of that with an 8, but I do note that. he kind of raises his arm and is like, yeah, so, well, yeah, I figured you were, probably like a little lonelier or something, so I'd stop by and say hi. Because Jubilee seems to care some, so I mean, you got to be a good person. So yeah, Timmy, yeah, color changing. Hi, you don't even have to insight this. This kid is really nervous right now.
Sammy's shading has gone back to sky blue again as he kind of stares at you, Timmy, and goes, Jubilee was. Because last time he knew, Jubilee was very angry at him for being stupid.
I mean, he wasn't happy, but like, it's Jubilee, and I could tell that. Oh god, he might kill me for saying this. He did seem a little worried, which I don't know what happened. He won't tell me anything, but I just know something went down. There's something involving this other kid. I've chosen to conquer that problem later. Right now, I'm just more worried about him. But yeah, you were mentioned, and it. I mean, like I said, he was obviously frustrated and angry. But he did seem to care some, and Juby doesn't care about people who tend to be shitty, so.
Timmy, you don't have to roll for this, but even though this toon is tall, and you can tell that he's tall just from how, like, where his feet land in the blankets, like just the little lump of feet down the hospital bed, he kind of, suddenly he kind of looks a little small. It's like he kind of tucks himself in a little bit and goes, oh, I thought he hated me for being stupid and nearly throwing everything into making it worse.
Oh, Sam, beloved. You see this kid's gaze soften a bit before he kind of gives a small little shrug. He's like, Jubilee, he gets mad at people, but I don't think he really hates. I mean, he doesn't hate me, and I've been a pretty big shit to him, so I mean, I think you're pretty good. You'd be able to tell if he really, really hated you. I don't think he does.
There is a look of relief on Sammy's face as like he kind of ducks his head a little bit, and then he kind of pulls his legs up a little bit, so he's kind of hugging his knees and goes, do you want to sit down? I don't have to keep standing if you don't want to. And he kind of just pats the bed.
Timmy is going to take that, and he is going to slowly walk over there and sit down, and he's got his hands digging into his jeans, and he's got that violet color still, and he's obviously nervous, but it's one of those nervousness in just he doesn't know what to do in this situation. You can almost tell this was a not as completely thought through plan.
Just handshake Sammy. He's just like, friend? Question mark. I am a little confused here, but kid seems nice.
Mood.
So like I feel like there's like a slight awkward pause for a moment as Timmy gets settled, and Sammy just kind of he just kind of fiddles with the edge of his blanket a little bit, and he goes, so outside of adventures and having to rescue people, what's Jubilee like normally?
You instantly see this this softness in Timmy's eyes, and his bandana turns much brighter colors as it starts to get shades of yellow and orange in it. And he kind of smiles and he's like, well, first of all, he's a bastard. And he says this in the most affectionate tone possible with a smile on his face. An absolute
Sammy
bastard.
does snort at that.
Which causes Timmy to give a laugh. He's an absolute bastard for first of all. But he's good. A good brother. Real sweet. Worries way too much. Absolute wreck. Disaster in every form of the word. It's kind of how you mentioned seeing something like on fire would be like, but it's like it. But it's gonna be okay. It's like a flameproof thing, but like no, it's the equivalent of something on fire constantly. He's saying all this in the most affectionate tone while smiling, and the more he talks, the more orange his bandana gets. But he really tries to give people as many chances as he can, and he always checks in on you, makes sure everything's all right, does his best to make sure you're doing okay. Worries. God, I mentioned the word already, didn't I? But he worries so much. He's sarcastic, an absolute pain in the ass. He's smart, clever. Not smart. He's not smart. He's clever. Oh, God. And then he pauses and is like, don't tell him I said any of this, by the way. No. He needs to still think that I think he's a stupid, idiotic bastard only. Because I'll never hear the end of it if he hears I complimented him.
Is like his shading has turned yellow as he's like covered his mouth and is very visibly trying not to laugh at all of the insults that are falling out of Timmy's mouth.
They're all in
very
the
clearly affectionate, but like he's just like dying because it's like
Timmy, he's stupid, says affectionately.
it's such the brotherly thing to drag your older brother who isn't there.
Jubilee finding out about their first meeting. You insulted me? Timmy batting his eyes. Are you surprised?
Oh man, just Sammy is just quietly dying, and like his eyes are like very clearly like that half crescent moon shape, even as his mouth is grinning. But Timmy, you kind of notice that he's not used to like having his mouth visible, so like he like kind of like as like a half subconscious kind of tick. He's kind of hiding his mouth a little bit, but you can clearly see that he's smiling.
This just makes Timmy smile even more, and he gives a laugh, and he's like, but despite all of that, he is a good person and brother. Despite all of that, because there is a lot of shit involved with him, he is a good brother.
Just Sammy's shading goes, yeah, it kind of just gets like a more bright, vibrant yellow as like his eyes form that crescent smile shape as he just goes, I'm glad. It sounds like you love him a lot.
Timmy's face turns bright red, and he's like, I didn't. Wait, shit. Okay, stop denying you care. Stop denying you care. Stop denying you care. I feel a normal amount of lack of hatred for him.
Which I mean, snorts and is just like, okay. He nods.
How dare you make Timmy admit that he can care about someone? How dare you?
Just Sammy is just like he's very visibly relaxed now in your presence, Timmy, as he just he likes you. He has decided that he likes you.
The Timmy Muse in me is just dying right now, head and hands.
He's just smiling at you, Timmy, as he's sitting and he's just kind of got his head kind of resting on his knees, but it's not the sad form. It's just him looking at you and just being like, "Oh, you care. That's good." And his shading is just bright yellow. He's very happy for you.
Timmy is just slightly red faced, and he looks down and goes, I'd ask you how you know Jubilee, but considering I don't think you guys met on the best of terms, but his eyes brighten. He's like, maybe you guys will be able to see each other again. Maybe I could drag him here. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he's worried.
Sammy kind of opens his mouth and then kind of shuts it and kind of reaches up and rubs the back of his head with his hand and goes, he was stressed because a mutual friend of ours, a young kid, wound up getting himself kidnapped, and it was a whole situation trying to get him back and find out where they took him, and I made the stress worse by trying to do something really stupid because he kind of wiggles his hands a little bit and goes, "Trauma and traumas." You can kind of tell that he's trying to repeat words that someone else has told him, but it's still a new topic for him, so he's just kind of like, I think this is why I reacted the way I did, but I'm not entirely sure.
Timmy's face softens a lot, and he kind of just nods, and he's like, well, Camille, right? Is that yeah, I heard it. Like I said, I heard about it.
Camille got kidnapped
from Jubilee, and then I saw I didn't see the name in the newspapers, but I could kind of connect the mumblings of Jubilee and the mumblings of Leo with shit. You heard nothing right there. That was totally nope. Okay. Shit. Mumblings of someone else.
Was that in character or you?
I am trying I'm trying to figure out if I should retcon that or if that was just mumbling, because I got that Sammy doesn't know that, and I think that a certain player might kill me if I accidentally open the secret. So we're gonna say he you can't understand that second part. You can hear he mentions another name, but you can't tell who it is. Because I would feel horrible if I did that.
Yeah, you just get Sammy kind of tilting his head and his shading going gray and a visible question mark appearing above his head as he tilts his head and goes, huh?
Timmy blinks and his face flushes in red. He's like, just someone else I know who was there. I can't really blame you for rushing into situations. I mean, it's what I do. And I can't say it normally works out for me, but it doesn't end as badly as it could. And he gives a
kind of
small reassuring smile and shrug.
He kind of reaches over to rub his arm as he kind of looks away from you, Timmy, to the window where the rain is still raining down against the window pane. making nice plitter-platter sounds, and he kind of just nods and goes, it wasn't a good idea, what I did.
Well, do you regret it?
If I went back and had the same knowledge that I had at that time, I don't see any other way I would have done it.
Yeah, but do you regret it? I'm not saying would you do it differently. You did it for a reason, obviously, but do you feel bad?
Okay, let me just roll something to just gauge how my boy is. Okay, he looks at you again, and his expression is solemn as he goes, I don't regret it.
Timmy pauses and he thinks, do you wish you hadn't worried or upset others?
He does nod at that.
Well, I mean, if you don't regret it and you wouldn't have done it differently, there's obviously some reasoning for you to do it. I mean, just because a decision's made possibly recklessly doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong for making that decision. But I mean, I guess the most important part is you wish you hadn't upset people or worried them. Because it means that you care, and, well, there's nothing wrong with caring. And especially considering the situation, what I know, it means you probably did that situation because you care. So, I mean, is caring to the point of, I mean, yeah, being reckless, not the smart, I guess. But like I said, I can't judge. But I mean, I also I don't see why someone should be upset with you for caring too much.
He's quiet for a bit, and he's kind of fiddling with the hospital gown a little as he kind of there's like two parts of him that are like, there's the part of him that realizes that what he did was actually really flawed, and then there's the part of him that is really agreeing with Timmy, and they're both fighting in his head right now, and I'm just like, oh, you hypocrite of a boy. Because like there's the one side of him that is like, if anyone else did this, I would be upset at them for endangering themselves for the sake of another when the plan would have failed, etc., etc. And then there's the part of him that is the part that needs help, that's going, yeah, no, I don't regret anything. And I'm just like,
I hold out a boy who's really good at emotional support, but he does share the same recklessness as Sammy, so he fully acknowledges he cannot tell Sammy to not be reckless without being a big hypocrite to himself.
yeah, these boys shake hands. They would do really reckless things to save the people they care about.
Yeah,
and I have my head in my hands.
Timmy pauses and he goes, you know, if you're that worried about it and what you did, and do you wish that you had had a different option?
He kind of looks down at his knees and goes, I don't know. Because at the time it had felt like the only thing I could do, but my brother told me that that what I did was trying to put this into words because he does want Timmy to understand that what he did probably wasn't actually something to be praised, even if it came from a source of good, because he recognizes that his view of the world has basically become distorted.
Love it.
And he kind of just he kind of sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to put this into words how he would explain it to Timmy.
You're so valid.
Because he looks at Timmy and he sees this kid and he's like trying to figure out how to put this without also scaring this kid witless.
If you want to do an insight, you could probably tell or not if this would scare this kid. Because I do point out, Timmy does show his experiences a bit and how he carries himself.
True. We're gonna roll an insight to. Oh, that's a nat 20.
Yeah. Okay. Sammy, you can tell, although, yeah, he's 16, the way he carries himself and the way he sits, it's almost a little tired. He's got the slight bags under his eyes, and you can see little scars. I'm pulling up the reference because words are hard, and if I can stare at something, that makes words a little less hard.
You are so valid.
He's got little nicks on his arms and face, and his eyes, they're a little tired. He's got the bags underneath. And you can tell, yeah, this kid is 16. He does not act or feel it. And you can tell in the way he's talking to you, it's the way someone would talk if they have had to reason through these kind of decisions before, if they're used to having to look at a situation way too big for them and logic it out. You won't scare this kid.
Oh, okay. I guess we're dipping into a bit of that medium content right here.
I'm sorry.
Sammy kind of looks at you, Timmy, and then kind of looks away again and goes, "This wasn't my first brush with the toon trade, Timmy.
Wisdom save, because nobody's actually told Timmy about that.
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Timmy's eyes widen, and you can tell in that one moment he did not know that was involved. In fact, you can definitely tell that because the first thing that escapes his mouth is the what?
Sammy closes his eyes and his hand kind of just reaches for his arm again and kind of just squeezes a little and goes, "The kidnapping case was directly tied to the toon trade, where oftentimes real kind are involved who like to kidnap toons from Inkwell and bring them to other countries in Satori where toons aren't common."
He's handling this a lot better than I thought he would. Okay. He blinks at that, and you, I don't care if that's 17. This kid is going to react a certain way, but at least he's not breaking as much as he could. He curls in on himself slightly, and he goes, "Oh, Julie did not mention any of that." Oh, I'm so sorry for you. Sorry, I didn't.
Not a lot of people know about that, Timmy. It's not your fault for not knowing. But it explains what I'm going to say next a little bit. The ring that we were dealing with was dealing with taking children.
Yeah, I think we're starting to pass that medium. I think we're passing that.
We're going into high.
Dear all current listeners, if you can't handle high angst, don't, you might, yeah. God, okay.
Please self-care.
Please self-care.
We will adjust the warnings appropriately during the
post
and the summary.
Yep. Okay. Shit, here we go. Timmy blinks before his bandana just becomes gray at the end, and it starts creeping in, and he pulls his knees closer to him and goes, "They real kind would do that? People do that?"
People
and you can tell, although this kid has seen a lot, this is one thing that he did not know about.
So I'm pulling Timmy into a hug, because he feels so bad for dropping this on Timmy, but the conversation has already started. He doesn't know if he can back out without explaining the whole entire situation now.
Oh god. This is God. That was a 3 on a wisdom saving throw. You pull him into a hug, and he is trembling in your arms with little shaky breaths as he tries to process this information you've just dropped. And he grips you a little tighter, and he goes, "Oh God, that Juby was he didn't met and the kid and you said it was your how can why do people let this be a thing? How?"
It's the same kind of reason why there's this disconnect between Toonkind and real kind. The real with an A. And I'm so sorry that I dropped this on you. The one thing I want to reassure you is that she is the captain of the leader of the ring that we fought against. She's no longer an issue.
He doesn't pull away. That was a 3 on a wisdom saving throw. But it is a very quiet question afterwards. Is she dead?
Camille begged us not to.
I don't care what Camille said.
When a kid jumped through a window to go get help, you gotta listen to him. Yeah, he jumped out a window.
What?
I'm jumping a little bit ahead of myself, but he did end up jumping out a window. I yelled at him for that, / demanded what he was thinking.
What did Julie get involved in? Oh God, what did both of them get involved? They were gone, and I hope this. They were at this, and oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
It's okay, Timmy. Timmy, they're okay. They're okay.
At this point, his bandana is just a mix of gray and dark, dark, dark purple. And
I know
with the
it's
only
scary
exception,
to hear about this, that it happened without you knowing and how it could have gone wrong, but Timmy, I need you to listen to me. They are okay. We're all okay.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be. You're the one who went through this. I'm sorry. No, I'm all right. I'm all right.
No, don't.
It's fine.
Don't.
It's fine. You're
Timmy?
right. They're all right. Still not pulling it off. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
At 16 insight.
Yep, you're still beating him. He's trying though. You can tell he's trying to tell you it's okay. That he's okay. He's lying.
But yeah, no, this is all very scary information for Timmy. And Sammy just wraps you up in a tighter hug, and his hand kind of goes into your very messy hair and kind of just starts combing it a little bit. And he goes, "It's okay to have these emotions, Timmy, especially when you did not know the full story. I'm sorry that I was the one who told you when Juby should have told you. He probably is gonna kick my ass for telling you."
He is not allowed. You're right. He should have told me. It's with him and his secrets. His stupid ass secret. You can see a bit of red creeping into that bandana as his grip and the hug tightens. Like, God, Jubilee. Both of them, they're idiots. They're idiots. They're idiots. And I will shake them and threaten to think they've been trying to do. Oh, I'm gonna.
We didn't know initially what we were dealing with. We just knew Camille had disappeared.
But none of you asked. You didn't bring backup, did they? I was in town. I could have helped. Other people probably could have helped. It's
Alone. We had a group. We didn't go alone.
it's still it's
I know.
still.
I know.
Oh God. Oh God. Okay. Okay.
Do you want me to continue telling the rest, or do you want to...
Tell me, God, I don't want to be kept a secret anymore.
Okay.
Because Jubilee, like hell, is going to be telling me, it seems.
Okay. But I'm going to have to jump back a little bit. We were able to find information first and beat up some goons. I found out where they were holding Camille. Juby knew as well. We were there both when I got the information out of the guy. But there was a reason why I really shouldn't have been on the case. Because this was way too personal to me. In all of, honestly, the wrong ways. So while everyone else stayed in a group with Detective Moria, Phantom L. Still don't quite understand how Phantom L found out exactly, but Jubilee and Detective Azumi, they all tried to stop me, but I eventually ran off by myself to confront Rose, the ringleader.
Timmy is really. I have to make so many wisdom saving rolls this FPS. This was not what I expected, but here we are.
I am so sorry.
it we talked about this conversation getting brought up in the DMs, and neither of us actually expected it, but here we sit in our hubris. The downfall of us. Fun.
The monkey paw curls in because because they got the boys to meet, but at what cost?
Yes, at what cost? Man, Timmy, he's trying to process this because at the same time he knows if he was in Sammy's situation, if he had gone through the things Sammy had, he's just as reckless and stupid. God knows that he himself is already contemplating hunting this Rose down and beating her ass into the ground. But at the same time, he does still acknowledge that was a bad thing. That was not a smart thing. That was something that wasn't good. And so he can't really give commentary. All he can do is hug Sammy even tighter.
Sammy just kind of squeezes Timmy and gives a wry smile because at this point he does acknowledge that it was an incredibly stupid decision for the emotional fallout that happened, and there is the part of him that is aware that endangering himself like how he had was not good. But he kind of leans back and sighs and goes, "This is going to require some context." And he reaches up and pulls out the hairpin of disguise from his hair, letting his bun fall out and kind of just fall around his shoulders as his rainbow hair fully just kind of goes poof. He now has very long hair. It's not all contained in a bun.
Timmy's eyes widen a bit.
And as he does so, you can suddenly see, Timmy, that there are bandages underneath his hospital gown, and his arms are dotted with dot-like bars of rainbow color. And he goes, "My name used to be Danny Jax, and my family was indirectly tied to the toon trade, by which they were a target for the emotional ink our ink has. Because we're color changing toons in body more than our clothing. And I knew that if someone affluent in the toon trade would know my name and would know that to them I'm more valuable than a 6-year-old kid."
So you wanted to take his place?
Sammy kind of closes his eyes and nods. He kind of rubs at his arm over some of the dots, and he just kind of, in a nervous tick, and he goes, I learned really hard that real kind don't follow the same type of rules us toons do.
Tried to take you
But
both.
she broke a pinky promise, and it it got her in the end.
Oh god, I can make this so worse by having Timmy ask one question, one word.
Oh boy.
I'm making a D2. Nope, he would ask it either way, god. Noodle's going to kill me. Already DM Noodle's like, oh my god, you're never gonna guess what you're gonna have to deal with later. How?
Oh, what?
How did it come back to bite? I thought if you broke a pinky promise, you like died or something. So that may just be a kid's tale. And he rubs the back of his neck.
Pinky promises interact weird when you involve real kind into the mix, I've found. Even if you're like a quarter or something, I've met a few half real kind, half toons who got into a mess with a pinky promise there, and then there was Rose, who, from what I can tell, one of her spells kind of left a door open, and that, from what Camille told me, that didn't happen originally.
Okay, you didn't share the information that would have made Timmy freak out a lot. That's what I was worried about, because there's a very key part of that story that could have made things a lot worse.
Because it was Jubilee, but at the same time, like, Sammy was aware the spell was happening, but he also was kind of in that haze of target needs to go down. I will worry about Jubilee later, because he was kind of in that mix between raging and not raging.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you didn't mention Jubilee. It's fine. Timmy's fine. Timmy totally isn't gonna corner Jubilee later over this. God, Noodle's gonna kill me. Timmy nods. Oh, okay. Everyone survived, right?
Yeah, everyone survived in one piece, and everyone got their long rests in. Camille had to see a surgeon just because he threw himself out a window when we were trying to be transported, and
Idiot.
It let me cause a big ruckus, but at the same time, I was expecting him, when he told me the plan in that room, to like have him sneak away while I basically made the biggest ruckus and drew all the attention to me.
There's a pause and he goes, I'm seeing the reckless part. But it's not said upset. It's not said mad. It's more of, yeah, I can see how that's a bad idea. I can't judge you for it, but I can see that.
Mm-hmm. He just kind of nods and rubs the back of his head and just goes, the reason why I didn't think that it would be wise to talk to the rest of the group originally before I ran was because I knew deep down it was an idiotic move. And I also figured that they would try to stop me, and all I could think was I didn't want Camille to go through what I did.
There's a long amount of silence from Timmy. And you could tell he's thinking over his words very carefully at this point. I understand why you didn't talk to them, but if God, sounds like such a hypocrite right now. Maybe if you had talked to them, there would have been. Like I said, I understand why you did it, and I'm not saying I would have done something differently. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm worried. Am I worried? Oh God, I'm worried. I don't know. I just maybe in the future you can consider talking to others, because then, if anything, maybe there is a plan that doesn't involve anybody facing something alone. Even if you can't think of one, you're by yourself.
Sammy just very quietly, very tiredly smiles at you, Timmy, and you can now, with the dropped pin of the hairpin of disguise, you can tell just how tired this toon is as he nods, and his shading is this gold airbrushed with rose as he looks at you and he goes, you know, you remind me of my brother Arata.
Timmy gives a small laugh and is like, I'm gonna take that as a compliment then, since he's your brother.
It is a compliment. You both have really good points.
Timmy gives a little snort and he goes, well, I mean, I haven't done anything like you, but I've had my good share of idiotic moments. And despite what Jubilee and my mentor may claim, I do actually pay attention during them. I just don't know me listen.
Sammy kind of smiles and reaches over to kind of bonk his head against his forehead against yours, Timmy. Just a very gentle head bonk, because he gets it. You can tell he gets it.
Timmy gladly takes the head bonk and he goes, like I said, I can't say that I wouldn't have done something differently in your place, because I'll be honest, I don't know what I would have done in your place. That's people trade toons. People do that, and they go after color changing toons. It's fine. It's fine. But I do know. I know what people have told me whenever I'm reckless, and even if I can't always listen, and maybe you won't always listen, at least I can tell you. And if anything, maybe, just maybe, you'll hesitate and pause long enough to actually act on going to someone else.
Sammy gives a little nod and kind of cradles your head against his a little bit. And he goes, even though I don't regret it, and I regret the hurt that it caused with everyone getting really upset, and I will be honest, Timmy, part of me doesn't understand why they are, even though another part of me understands just how absolutely stupid I was. But having these kind of reminders, it helps. Just a little.
There's There's another long, quiet pause before Timmy very gently nudges his shoulder against you because he doesn't want to leave the head bonk, and he goes, "Well, I can be a pretty annoying reminder if you want. I'm a little pest sometimes. I can."
Sometimes we all need a little pest in our garden.
Timmy gives a little laugh.
Did you know that ladybugs are sometimes considered a pest?
Timmy blinks and he goes, "Really? But they're so tiny and cute."
They're tiny and cute, but when they don't have the right bug to hunt, they can mess up a garden sometimes.
Oh. Huh.
But when the ecosystem of the garden is healthy, ladybugs are actually a very helpful insect to have around.
He is quiet as he listens. And he nods and he goes, how do you know this about gardens?"
I garden. I mind a shrine in Toontown. It's where I live, actually.
Timmy blinks and goes, "Well, that's not close, is it?" No.
No, but when Camille called for help, I'm not the type of person to leave someone without helping.
He nods and kind of wrings his hands together and goes, "Well, what is Toontown like? I haven't been there." And you could tell he's starting to relax some. Let's see, how is he doing? How are you doing, Timmy? Yeah, Timmy is doing a lot better now. He's still absolutely terrified, and you can tell his hands still tremble some, but he's calmed down a lot. You've reassured a lot of your peers, enough so that gray, which had been very persistent, has retreated some, and now it's mostly a violet and calming blue.
Sammy does kind of pull out of the head bonk, but he just repositions himself, so he's pulled Timmy into a side hug, and he just, oh my gosh, hiccups. He gives Timmy a reassuring squeeze as he kind of leans back his head because, oh boy, what is Toontown like? He smiles and goes, "It is one of the most colorful places I have ever had the chance to live, and so many different styles of toons, of buildings, of every animation style you can imagine. It's in Toontown." And when people say that things happen in Toontown, they are not exaggerating. There is so much plot that happens in Toontown. So many shenanigans, so many things happening all the time. It is insane. And you believe me, Timmy, I do not leave my shrine on April Fool's because the toons there go wild.
Timmy gives a little snort. And he goes, "Well, it sounds a little fun, though, I'll admit."
It is fun.
Being around that many people?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Just being around that many people?
It can be both exhilarating and Honestly, sometimes you can feel like you're alone in a crowd. I don't feel that way anymore. I've gotten a lot of friends. I even met my brother through Toontown. It's one of the places I would still call home.
Timmy smiles at that and he goes, well, as long as it's home to you, that's what matters, is it not? It's important to have a home, a place to go back to.
Sammy kind of smiles a little softly and he goes, it is one of the most lively places I've been. And believe me, I've been to a lot of places.
Timmy kind of listens with his head tilted slightly. What kind of places? I've gone all over the place, especially for the past 2 years only. Never really left home before that, but I've never really gone to the bigger cities or the more vibrant places.
Okay. You kind of, you don't need an insight roll with this. Timmy, you can kind of see this wistful look on Sammy's face as he starts kind of talking about some of the places that he's been to, and you realize that he's been to places all across Inkwell, from Ghibli to UPA to practically at least one big city from each of the countries until he got to Toontown.
Timmy listens with wide eyes and this small smile, and you could tell. And the more you talk, the more that gray recedes until it's mostly just the calm blue with the little. I mean, not gray. Yeah, the violet recedes. There was still gray sun, but the gray's gone at this point. The violet recedes until it's mostly just that calming blue. And he just listens with a small smile, and you can tell he's fascinated by all these stories.
Mm-hmm. If you want, Jimmy can roll insight on Sammy.
Yes. Absolutely. Nope.
Okay, you just are completely amazed by all of the places that Sammy's been, and you don't really catch the fact that Sammy is talking about going all these places, and it is, like, for the audience's sake, it is very heavily implied that he never actually settled down for several many years. 8.
Me on the other side. Timmy doesn't recognize that because Timmy thinks that's normal.
I hold Timmy so soft.
It's fine, Your Honor. They handshake a little too aggressively sometimes.
Yep. Oh man, they just, like, he's just very quietly telling Timmy all about the places that he's seen, and it's not until he reaches Toontown where he actually starts describing the shrine that he takes care of behind an abandoned theater in an abandoned district that he helped repair after becoming a cleric of his deity, Prismatone.
I'm gonna make a quick that'd be a religion. Yeah, religion check.
Yep, religion.
Because Timmy, I want to see if Timmy would actually know about Prismatone. What is?
It's a 11. It's above average, so I'll say that like the name kind of rings a bell, but it doesn't.
Yeah, because he did live pretty isolated. He
Yeah.
tilts his head and goes, You follow a deity? Prismatone?
She's the deity of characterization and voice and soul, and she saved me when I was for 8 years after my first run-in with the people my first run-in with the toon trade. I had built up a wall between myself and my emotions. I am so sorry, Timmy.
It's fine. It's fine. Keep going. I will deal with this accordingly.
And he just kind of rubs at his chest slightly where his heart would be, and then kind of smiles a little faintly and goes, I stumbled upon one of her abandoned way-stop shrines outside of Toontown once, and she saved me. She was able to unblock the wall I'd erected to try and protect myself from showing any of my emotions, but it was without her, I don't think I would have been here.
Timmy takes all that in, and he's trembling in your arms again as you mention that again. And then the more you talk, and then you say that last part, and he just lets that quiet go. Well, I'm glad you found Christmas because I'm glad you're here, and denying emotion sounds like a really bad thing, and I could be so mean right now.
Could you repeat the first bit that you were saying? You got really quiet.
Got the background time left him up with me. He's really quiet and he's trembling a bit. He shakes in your arms again, especially after you mentioned that first part.
Mm-hmm.
But and when you mention that last part, all he does is a quiet "oh" before he just kind of pauses, and he takes in a deep breath. And I'm gonna roll a d2 to see if I should be mean to all our listeners or not. One is a yes, two is a no. Well, the dice have spoken. Sorry, people. He kind of gives a sad, worried smile. He goes, "And denying your emotions sounds bad. I'm glad I haven't had to do that yet." And as he says that, Gray starts to appear in his bandana.
He's rolling inside.
Oh.
Wait, nope.
Wait, oh, that was a detail.
I forgot the
I was about to say, I was like, oh my gosh.
Dice parser, please.
I look away.
I'm gonna roll again because that was mean, dice parser.
I'm looking away. Okay.
A 15. That's better.
Now here's the fun part. I don't roll deception for this one. I roll persuasion.
Oof.
You know what? He has a bandana on. You can see the truth. Okay, Dice Parser. Cool. We're just gonna be violent today. Thanks.
We really do be having violence here.
I look away and I let you roll advantage because I really don't want to do this to my boy.
Okay, here we go.
You just 2 more. Yes! You can tell. Okay, we're gonna flavor this though. We're gonna flavor this for all that. It takes you a good solid minute after he says that, but as he sits there and you see him thinking over that sentence, and then he repeats, "Yeah, I am lucky that hasn't happened to me." When he says it the second time, the first time he says it confidently, and the second time he says it even more confidently. And at first you don't pick it up, but it isn't until that second time when he says it that you realize, and it was the first time he said it that you realize that you were able to pick it up, because the second time he says it so confidently, you wouldn't have been able to pick it up if he hadn't stuttered that first time. Timmy genuinely believes this sentence. Timmy's bandana is telling a very different story, because when he says that is not, you've started to notice a trend with his colors, and if he was confident in something, it should have been a more yellow-orange color. That is gray. And you don't know what that color means, but it isn't confidence in his statement, even though he genuinely believes that statement.
Hey, Timmy, make a deck save.
That's genuinely kind of terrifying. Cool. That's 22.
Okay. Dang it. He kind of reaches out, and how I'm going to flavor this is you kind of flinch out of the way because Sammy's hand was reaching for your chin.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of pauses and goes, Timmy, I have spent 8 years suppressing my emotions, and I am a voice cleric. And I'm going to actually flavor this how he actually was pinged by Timmy. When the gray started really coming in, Timmy's voice colors that Sammy can sometimes see from the corners of his eyes are dull and very gray, muted colors instead of the bright, happy sparks that they should be. And Sammy's seen that before in his own voice when Prismatone showed him the difference between the two. And he kind of reaches out slowly this time to kind of just gently get your chin and just gently tell you to look him in the eye as he goes, I am a voice cleric, Timmy. I know when someone suppresses a part of themselves like that.
What? No. No.
What does gray mean, Timmy?
And he looks down at his bandana and sees it, and Violet creeps into his brain. He's like, I did something. And the more he says that, the more gray spreads, and his heart seems to beat as the violet turns purple. Before he shakes his head, and more gray appears until the violet's gone. He said, "It's nothing. It's just a color that happens when I get sometimes when I it's like when I think about Droopy Night's past. It's just a color."
Kind of gently rubs, like kind of just like he's kind of like got his hand kind of underneath Timmy's chin, like just very gently, kind of so Timmy can kind of rest his chin on Sammy's hand if he wants, and like his thumb is just kind of gently strokes once at Timmy's cheek before pulling away, and he goes, if you don't know what that emotion is, Timmy, then I would recommend that you go to the ECCR. They help toons like us with finding out what our colors are.
Timmy's quiet and he goes, the ECCR?
Sammy will then explain the acronym that is the ECCR, but I never can actually recall.
You're so valid. I don't actually expect it.
And he will explain a tiny bit of the process that goes into marking color changing toons and helping them swatch out their colors. And he kind of pauses and goes, "You never actually had your colors swatched, have you?"
There's a long pause and he goes, "Yeah, I didn't know that was you can tell he's really nervous now. He's like, I didn't know I was supposed to. You want an insight on that?
Let's roll insight. And pray that dice parser isn't as mean this time.
Okay.
Oh, that's 16.
Dice
Nice.
parser was decent. Timmy is genuinely very confused by all this. You can tell all of this stuff involving colors, and especially the fact that color change. Anytime you've mentioned something actually about a color changing toon, he's seemed confused with the earlier subject, with this subject. He doesn't actually know anything about color changing toons. And so, yeah, you can tell he's never done it before because he didn't actually know he needed to. He genuinely did not know any of this.
Sammy just very quietly reaches out and picks up Jimmy's hands and gives them a squeeze and goes, It's okay that you didn't know about this. We're rare enough as it is. But if you want help figuring out what your colors mean, what certain emotions are in relation to your color changing, they can help. And if you want, I could come with you.
There's a long pause and he looks down before he kind of scratches at his arm nervously and goes, I'd like it if you came along. I wouldn't know what to do, and honestly,
Beck, you got really quiet again.
Shit. Okay, he looks... Thank you for telling me also. If I ever do that, just tell me and I'll repeat it. He looks down and he rubs at his arm nervously and goes, I'd really like it if you went with me. I don't know what I would be supposed to do, and I don't know if I would fit in well or handle it well, or I wouldn't know what to do at all. I'll be honest.
Don't worry. I've been there before. I've been there a few times.
Is it scary?
I will admit I was scared for a few different reasons than how you're probably scared, but it's okay.
He's super quiet and he goes, yeah, I mean, do you really think I should go?
He nods and just gently points at Timmy's bandana and goes, if you don't know what your colors mean, it means that you can't correct someone if they assume what you're feeling based off of your colors. Because not all color changing toons have the same palette.
He gets a small little laugh, and he's like, I guess that applies because you had like this light blue. I think when you were surprised, and for me, blues are calm or sad. So I guess that works. Huh. Are there really so many different color changing toons that they all have different palettes?
I've met Mixed Tobias. I've met Mixed Donut. Those are the only two that I've actually met before you. Oh wait, no, I met a lot more toons who were color changing. When he kind of makes a face and goes, when I got kidnapped into the toon trade over my birthday. It's a long story. Everything turned out fine. My brother and my aunt and my best friend, they came and kicked ass and saved everyone. It was the dude is in jail. The spirit rogues changed the man's heart. Everything is okay.
For all those roles that happened while you're talking, the 15 first was the only name out of that he actually recognizes is Tobias's, but he doesn't comment on it. He lets you keep talking, but his eyes do widen slightly, and you can tell he's promptly impressed. He hasn't been wondering a long time, but he's a teenager. He's seen a movie or two.
Mm-hmm.
I look at him, of course. But the 5 is when you mention that again, especially your birthday. He starts shaking again. He's instantly filled with worry, but this time you're able to reassure him a lot faster, and he handles this one a lot better once you say all that. And you can tell the more you're talking about it, he's still terrified, but the shock of it is wearing off. So
he pulls you into another hug because he is beginning to realize that what he went through was a lot more traumatizing than he thought.
both of us at the gallery in perfect sync. Gosh.
But yeah, he just pulls you into a hug and he goes, believe me, the toon trade it's horrible and it happens, but it's something that people are working to break down to stop it from ever happening again. There is the FDI who we eventually were able to stop. We were able to turn the ring over to so they would be able to be prosecuted to the fullness of the law. There are people who help Timmy.
Timmy listens, and then his lips press into a thin little line, and you can insight this if you want. I want to help.
Sorry, did you say I want to help?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, that's a 10. I'm just gonna wait. No, no. Insight is a +4. I have to roll another thing because Oh, okay. He's fine. He kind of freezes a little bit at your declaration that you want to help Timmy, and he kind of pulls away a little slowly to kind of try and read your facial expressions and your bandana.
I will give you advantage because you're making a lot of extra effort, and I will tell you his bandana is gray again with violet.
Oh, I feel like with the 10, at least he knows, ooh, that's a bad mixture.
Yes, there's something up. I'll give you advantage because he's looking for something now. So the first one was kind of just getting the gauge. So come on.
Okay,
Oh, God.
come on, Dice Parser. Come on.
Yes!
17!
Yeah, no, that's a high number. Timmy is not only nervous, you can tell he wants to do this. That is true. He is genuinely nervous, and it's very subtle. He has to do this.
Okay, all right. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Okay. Sammy pulls back. He kind of pulls back a little bit forward. He kind of like leans back a little to look at Timmy, kind of like just up and down, and goes,
Mm-hmm.
"Tell me why you have to do this, Timmy. Why you need to help. Beside it being just a right thing to do."
Timmy hesitates on that. You can see he's kind of surprised that you're asking that. Like, he genuinely did not expect that. He expected you to go, yes, good job, Timmy. To not be met by almost a questioning of the action instead of encouragement. Isn't that all
Timmy's
the reason?
lucky that Sammy didn't try and shut it down immediately, because that was his first response.
Yeah, no, Timmy seems genuinely surprised he was not met by encouragement to this, actually. And his gaze does actually soften at that because that reminds him of there are only a few people in his life he knows who wouldn't have encouraged this. And it's definitely helping you in his books. That's all the reason. Yeah, I'm supposed to help people. That's the right thing to do, and it's what I do. It's kind of my thing. And this is a big problem for a lot of people, it seems. So this is, yeah. What other reason
reaches out.
is there supposed to be?
He reaches out to gently squeeze your hands, Timmy, and he goes, "You don't have to be the hero in everything, Timmy. You're helping just by coming to a color changing toon's bedside that you didn't even know. And you're aware now of what can happen, especially to our demographic. But there are other ways to help besides fighting. He kind of trailed off for a moment and like is visibly thinking, and then like a light bulb pops up over his head and he goes, we can find other ways to help.
But that's what I'm good at. Fighting. That's kind of the only thing I'm good at besides, some occasional muscle. That's what I do, is I fight people. That's my thing. And you can tell his line art's a bit shaky.
Oh,
I mean,
Timmy, you are met with the most gentlest look you've seen from this toon, even when he was under the hairpin of disguise. And he just kind of pulls you close and kind of just cups your face in his hands and goes, that's not all you are, Timmy. You're not just a fighter. I don't know what else you're going to be, where else you can take your potential, but it doesn't have to be fighting or for muscle. Neither of us have to fight if we don't want to. It's okay not to be something they wanted us to be.
give me 5 seconds. The room is very dark because of sunset, and I need to turn the light off. Turn the light on, and Timmy's experiencing emotion, so I'll be right back. Give me 5 seconds. Okay, I'm back. It was very quick, but I was sitting in darkness, and it was hurting my eyes at that point. Timmy has a lot of emotions right now. Because you just said something. You just said something that kind of hit a little too close.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need a water break? Because we're going on. You and I, this would be a nice, easy FPS. You and I going way too feral with therapy. I'm still good.
I'm still good. I've got 3/3 of my Dr. Pepper still.
I'm still good. I will probably get water later, but I'm good right now.
Mm-hmm. I am good too. Like I came prepared. I have my snacks from lunch earlier. I'm good.
All right then. All right. In that case, Timmy blinks at that, and you want to insight that? Actually, we're gonna make this fun. Come on, dice, be nice.
Okay, dice, be nice to me, please. Why with the nat 1?
I'm giving you advantage. Okay, from now on, I am declaring it here and now. Sammy will get permanent advantage on Timmy insights because color changing toon to color changing toon. And I will not be wavering on this.
Okay, with advantage, he got a 10.
Okay, I can work with that. You can't tell what emotion it is, but whenever you say you don't have to be what they want, Timmy does blink a few times. And his bandana gets even grayer. But that's the good thing. That's what I'm supposed.
Do you want to do, Timmy, besides what you're supposed to do?
Okay, Timmy. Oh God, Timmy. Okay, the muse just okay. Timmy blinks, and it's the most genuine thing he said this entire time. I don't know what I want.
And that's okay, Timmy.
Yeah, the Timmy muse just hit me with that one. Okay.
I am holding him so soft. Sammy is holding him so soft, and he's cradling you very close at this point. Big brother mode has activated, and he's just
Good.
okay. If you don't know what you want, can you tell me some things that you enjoy?
Timmy's quiet as he tries to think over that. And you can tell there's kind of a bit of actual thought having to be put into this before well, I mean, I like the rain. That's for one. And he pauses and he kind of sits back a little, doing his best to think over it all. And like I said, you can tell he's not used to this question actually. I like playing my guitar sometimes, and I like making jokes. I genuinely kind of enjoy sparring. I like to run, and as he talks, the gray slowly starts to be replaced by yellow, and that common blue. I like to see the way people hug each other the way they hug you whenever they're happy. I like to listen to others when they talk a lot. I like to see the way this wind can rattle around trees. I like to talk to others. I like to be around others. I like to be wanted. I like to be known. I like and he kind of fades off as he begins to run out of things to say.
Mm-hmm. Sammy nods and goes, a lot of those things are so good, Timmy. Honestly, they're all so very good. And you don't need to be a fighter or a hero to make an impact on someone. But if you really do enjoy sparring and fighting and throwing people around in a way that is more friendly than malicious, then I could see you teaching someone self-defense.
Holy shit, that's actually a really good idea for him. Timmy blinks at that and he kind of smiles at that and he's like, that would be good. It'd be nice knowing that people are a bit safer. And it's fun when you get to help someone out. I've never got to help teach someone else how to fight. I've always been the one being taught, but maybe one day will be good enough to help teach. And
he kind of leans in conspiratorially and goes, one of the best ways to learn I've found is by teaching someone else.
Timmy smiles at that and he goes, huh. It's probably going to take me a while to find somebody not better than me, but maybe I'll be able to do that.
It's certainly something you can work towards.
Timmy nods, and he's got this contemplative look on his face, and you can tell he doesn't know if that's what he will do, but you've planted the seed of thought in his head that maybe he could try something else. And there comes the moment. But there's still that look in his eyes of, you want to, here, you can roll inside at advantage again, because his bandana does change color again the more he thinks. It becomes a turquoise.
Okay, let's see if we can get a higher than a 415. Nope.
I'm rolling. Yep, okay, it's about that still. Timmy feels guilty considering it. Like, yeah, that's an option, but he shouldn't do that option.
Timmy kind of just leans over and bumps Timmy's shoulder and goes, "Why the long face?"
A lot of people need me to be something other than that. And I can't let them down on that.
Why do they need you? A 16-year-old.
Because that's what I've been training to do for the past 5 years. I'm the only one who's trained with my mentor. I'm the one. There is a bit of hesitation as he mentions his mentor.
Did you choose to get trained? Or did you feel pressured into it?
It's complicated. I started training with him because it was a good distraction after any pauses, and you see him reach up for a compass that hangs around his neck, and he fiddles with it slightly, and he's like, after something happened, because it helped distract me from feelings I didn't want to face. But after a bit, people started talking, and I realized that I had become a prodigy. And then I was helping out because, I mean, it was a good way for me to learn on the job. Take me out on little adventures, and if somebody needed help, I could help too. It helped me learn faster, and I liked helping people. And then people realized I could help. And I realized they needed me. So I kept training harder.
I'm trying to figure out how Sammy can help unpack that. I am...
That's a lot of... Me sitting here with Timmy, this is a lot to unpack, I'm sorry. Because Timmy does genuinely want to help people.
And just...
The glow of it has faded. Because it is no longer...
of it has faded?
The glow. Because a lot of it now isn't who wants... He it's no longer he just wants to help. He has to help. He doesn't have a choice in this anymore.
Sammy looks at Timmy and just quietly goes, "If you help all these people, who's going to help you?"
Timmy blinks at that, and he goes, "Well, I told Jubilee I would start talking to him more after he found out about this. He was Well, if you thought he was mad at you, whoo, that was a fun night. And he says that with a bead of sweat dropping. I got him in a lot of trouble that night. He said a lot of things similar to you.
You don't have to help. You don't have to save a lot of people. Be someone people see. You don't. Helping people is good, but you. I just. Believe me, I just barely learned this myself with the aforementioned adventure that got Jubilee angry at me. But you don't have to do it. It's not an obligation, Timmy. And it doesn't negate your own worth to not to have to save people. Because you're just as valued as the people you are trying to save. Don't you deserve the same consideration you would give other people?
I mean, yes, I guess that is true. Well, and he doesn't actually have a good response to that. He kind of just is quiet for a moment. But if I can't help people, then things might happen to them, or they might have to go, and I will follow.
Timmy?
Yes.
Sometimes, despite all of our efforts, bad things happen, and it's not your fault when it does.
But maybe if I do stuff, I can decrease the chances. But if I don't,
Timmy, we can't save everyone, Timmy.
no, I can. I can. And there's that gray again, as he repeats the words "I can" very softly.
Timmy shakes his head, and his shading is so dark blue as he pulls you into a hug, and he goes, Timmy, I am so sorry, but we can't save everyone.
No.
There are so many people in the world. We can't save them all.
No.
Sometimes they have to save themselves.
Oof. No, I'm rolling that shit at disadvantage. Okay, fine, dice. Fine, you be nice. I don't. But you can't form words at that. And you can see that gray is going up and down. And I will let you have another insight on that because that gray is popping up a lot with a very specific word. Come on, please, dice, please. Somebody needs to actually. No!
Oh, okay. Dice Parser was saying 14 and only 14, and I say peck to that.
Please, dice. No!
Dice Parser!
It's fine. Well, we can maybe have another chance later. We'll see. Gosh. All you can tell is that gray is really persistent right now.
Sammy also is just like, that's a bad shade. I don't like that shade.
That color keeps coming up at really bad moments for Timmy when he's not being good to himself. That's a bad color. The only thing that Sammy might be able to eventually figure out what that color is maybe if Sammy figures out when it started showing up, because he was not born with that color, I will say that. But that's not for right now. Right now is Timmy having a crisis a bit. Because you could tell he is definitely having a bit of a crisis.
Yeah, and Sammy's just hugging him very tightly because he's just like, oh, buddy. He has such a dark blue shading because he's grieving for Timmy right now, because this is a really hard lesson to swallow, and he doesn't know if Timmy's gonna be able to reconcile it or not.
Yeah, man, Sammy's really been dropping a lot of truth bombs into me.
He has been, and he feels really bad.
This Timmy came in here like, ooh, color change in Tomb, and Timmy is getting a nice dosage of reality. It's good for him. I, as the player, say this is very good for him, because part of his bad mindset was he lived very much in a bubble mentally of he's only ever won his battles. He's never actually lost something. So this is a good lesson. But gosh, is it hurting him?
It's a really hard lesson to learn and swallow.
Okay, I'm gonna do a wisdom. Does he swallow that pill? He swallows the pill. Timmy, here's a moment of hesitation before he just starts crying in your shoulders. It's not loud, but he's just. Even earlier, when it involved Juby, there was this silent tears, and just trembling, but this is the first time he truly cries. And where his bandana isn't gray, which the gray is slowly retreating and is being replaced by his own deep, deep blue.
Beck, are you still there?
Was it not picking up?
It was deep, deep, and then the last word got
blue.
poofed.
Blue.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike, please.
That was the word.
Please.
I thought that was the word, but I was just like, wait.
Please.
Suddenly that's not there anymore.
Please, Mike. Please pick me up, Discord. Please, we don't have to be like this. We don't have to be violent towards. We're already being violent with the dice. Let's not be violent with the recording.
Sammy just hugs Timmy so tightly, and he just rocks Timmy back and forth, just kind of gently tugs Timmy into his lap, and he just holds the younger boy and goes, I know, it hurts. It really hurts. It's okay to cry about this. To me, it's okay to grieve it.
I want to point out for our audience, because you will not be able to insight this, but I feel like it should be shared with the audience. The person specifically that Timmy is thinking about this whole conversation is Jubilee. For a lovely audience. Because you will not be able to insight that. That is not something you can insight. But I'm telling the audience. So you can understand why I, the player, am dying. This whole time, Tim has been thinking about Jubilee. we're never talking about you can't save everyone.
I'm lying down on the ground.
Fine. It's fine. Fine.
I will be okay, but I am having emotions.
We're all having emotions in this FPS. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. They're fine. They're fine.
He just kind of rubs the back of. He rubs the back of Timmy's. He rubs Timmy's back, and he just kind of quietly hums comfortingly to Timmy.
All right, let's see how long it takes for him to calm down. Another dirty 20. It takes him a bit, because I will say this is not something you come to easy, but eventually the crying calms down, and he's just quiet in your arms as he sniffles. And then he lets out a very soft laugh, and he's like, so much for me coming in here to cheer you up.
I am sorry that I dumped all of this on you.
No, you need to talk. People these days don't talk now.
You know, whenever you go to the ECR and I accompany you there, if you still want, I could show you around Toontown.
Timmy's eyes soften, and he goes, I would really like that, actually.
Be my pleasure to show you around, and you could go get ice cream or something.
Timmy gives a little smile and goes, I'd like that. What's your favorite flavor? And you can tell as he starts to change this topic, it's less of a, topic change, as much as he's processing the other. And even if it's hard for him to swallow, you did manage to succeed. He can't deny it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. You helped him. You can tell him.
Yay! He trying to remember his favorite ice cream flavor.
You can just say he tells it, because I don't remember Timmy's.
Yeah, he's gonna share Timmy, share with Timmy his favorite ice cream flavor, because I can't remember it right now.
And Timmy tells him his. You and I, they have a flavor, that's sure. What is it? We don't know.
Sure is swell.
He's quiet for a moment, and he sits and thinks. And then he sits up just like me. And he does smile slightly. He's like, even though I didn't do what I planned on doing, I'm glad I got to meet you.
Sammy smiles too, and his shading is gold airbrushed rose, and he just kind of leans over and head bonks you gently and goes, I'm glad you visited me too. It's nice to see another color changing toon.
Timmy's quiet before he says something a bit more. He's wiping away.
Spec, your mic is very quiet again.
Yeah. 1 second, I'm bringing this closer to me. This thing can be turned handheld if needed. Is this better?
Yes. Much
Okay.
better.
Okay, just like I said, just tell me.
Yee.
He sits up a bit more straight and wipes away at his tears and as they dry away. Maybe I could visit again. I could bring a game or something.
Sammy gently smiles and nods at that and goes, I would really enjoy that. Thanks.
And I could possibly bring good food or something. Or anything, really.
Sammy laughs at that. If you want, you can roll insight.
I will so roll insight when I can. If I can find his sheet again. Okay. Now here comes the fun part. Trying to roll insight with the one hand on the mic. Doop. I have this in the wrong chat. That would have been funky. Okay, up here. That's a 15.
Nice. Okay, with a 15, you realize that you kind of just look around and there are takeout boxes with the label of the last one in scattered around the room and in the trash can.
Timmy looks at those and goes, I could get something from this place called The Last One In? And he suggests with a small little smile, and it's a little nervous.
Sammy starts laughing a little bit more, and he goes, "You would that's from my brother. He works at that inn in Toontown. So when he visits, he likes bringing me curry."
Okay. Probably can't get that then.
No, but I appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
That gold airbrushed rose just deepens, by the way, as he smiles at you.
I'm going to roll insight on that because I have a good feeling what that is. Because I remember the other time this FPS was mentioned. That's another 15.
Okay, a 15. You look at Sammy's smile and look at the gold and then the rose pink that is in Sammy's shading, and gold / yellow is a happy emotion you've gathered. And then pink, well, pink generally means love or affection. And coupled with happy and affection, you get Sammy's feeling really affectionate at you.
Oh, Timmy has a friend.
Mm-hmm. And he really appreciates that Timmy is trying, and he just holds Timmy so very soft. And he feels like it's not in his shading, but he feels guilty about all of the reality checks he accidentally laid down.
It's fine. Timmy needed them. If he actually does apologize for that, I already know what Timmy's going to say, and it may reassure him some.
I don't know if at that point he'd actually bring it up.
Yeah, I will tell you, the player, Timmy would absolutely respond with the fact, and even if he isn't saying out loud, Timmy is grateful for these. It upset him a lot. I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty pissed off at Juby right now for not giving any of these. He should not have had to find this out through a stranger. And yeah, Juby will definitely be. I don't know if it'll be. It may be off camera because by gosh, these brothers have a lot of sad FPSs. We got to try and even out number some. But no, yeah, Juby is definitely going to be getting a talk later. So I'm very mad, Timmy, and a very worried and concerned Timmy. But no, when he realizes that. I'm going to be honest, you didn't even insight it. He looks a bit surprised. And a bit confused. At this obvious affection towards him. I am so glad all of this is happening after the brothers healing FPS, because if it had happened before, he would have gone so far into denial over this. And I will admit, there is gray there. There is still gray, because this is not an easy arc to fix. But the
Mhm.
fact that he is not straight up leaving the room is already an improvement. But yeah, oh wait, Gray's involved. You can roll insight again at advantage.
All right, here we go.
I am giving you
Dice
every
Master.
chance I can at this point. Because I will admit it's a high. My jaw's just hanging. I need a moment to process. Thank you. Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh. Dice Parser went, okay. Okay, you really want it that bad. Take it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is gonna be a conversation, but it's good for both of them.
Oh man.
It's taking you a good while to place that color because it's so different from your gray. And at first you think it could be confusion because he sure looks confused, but there's other colors with that. There's that very light violet, and that's what the confusion is. That you can tell that's confusion, which means the gray's not confusion. And you think back to every time that gray has appeared this whole time you've been talking. And you sit there, and it finally hits on you what that gray means. That is denial. And every single time it's appeared, suddenly clicks into place. Because every time that gray has appeared, Timmy has, in one way or another, either denied something you're saying, denied something he's saying, or denied something one of you are feeling. He hasn't accepted something, which means something right now he is not accepting.
I feel like, especially considering the fact that Sammy's shading was on full display, even for himself, he would. Oh, this is a lot to unpack, but he just. There's like this. There's not even a light bulb moment because this is too serious of a moment right now. And he goes, oh. Oh dear.
Man, I wonder how much denial this kid has if there's an entire color for it.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when we were like, this is a medium angst at most FPS? Remember when we said that in our hubris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just. He looks at you, Timmy, and his shading goes lilac as he looks at you and he goes, you don't think you deserve it, do you?
What?
You don't think that you deserve affection, do you?
And he blinks at that and goes up a bit. And a bit more of that gray comes back. No, I know I deserve it. I have Jubilee and Leo and Raven, and they all care about me.
And I care about you too, just from meeting you, Timmy, and you.
But I haven't done anything.
You don't need to for someone to care for you. And
what?
Timmy, you don't need to do anything to be loved, Timmy.
Whew.
Love should be unconditional. Oh dear.
Timmy blinks at that and I'm listening to the muse. I am listening to the muse. And more gray doesn't appear, but his line art wobbles more again as he thinks. And you can tell that he doesn't know how to respond. That is true. Because what you said, he didn't even realize was happening.
He takes a big, deep breath and just kind of gently reaches out to take his hands. And he goes, Timmy, I think I've figured out what your gray means.
Timmy blinks and looks at him. What?
Your gray represents every time you deny something, Timmy.
What? That's not. No. And it starts to reappear again. And I'm going to make a straight D20 because I think this would be an intelligence for him to connect the dots on himself. We're going to roll advantage because somebody's helping him. Okay. You say that. And he starts to shake his head more. He goes, no. And the gray starts to spread really fast. And then he looks down and realizes what just happened. And then he sits there for a moment. And then his eyes widen. And very, very softly, you hear, oh. So that's why it happened then.
Sammy tilts his head and goes, why, what happened?
He blinks and I'm gonna need a persuasion. To be honest. From you.
Okay.
From you.
All right. Benny, what's your persuasion score?
I'll roll wisdom to see if you can convince him.
Okay. Oh, that's a nat 1!
I'm sorry. That's an automatic. Don't, but I'm gonna roll it because I want this to. I, the player, have a choice to make right now. Do I follow traditional D&D rules, or do I get this boy some help?
I mean, it's an FPS. We kind of already play loosey-goosey with the rules.
Technically, by raw rules, Timmy fails. I'm looking at the gallery because the gallery knows better about rules than I do. Okay. Works with me.
We're doing get help.
We're doing get. Beautiful. Gosh. It is really hard to convince him.
Mm-hmm.
But he is also really out of it by this realization.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm to make things even, since it was a nat 1, I'm gonna give you a little bit, and then you're gonna have to roll again to see if you can get more. We're gonna make things fair.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I saw gray in my bandana.
Okay. What? Can you tell me what happened? And I'm rolling persuasion.
And I'm
again.
rolling wisdom again. Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
I do not
17.
see Timmy beating that. Yep.
By one!
By one. Timmy pauses and blinks. It was the first time and his voice wobbles. It was the first time I told myself Jubilee hated me and that he never cared about me.
I'm having emotions.
I remember I was staring into the mirror, and it was not that long after he left, a couple months, and I was really upset. And then I got really angry, and then I just screamed that he never cared, that he just hated us, because if he had cared, he wouldn't have left like that. And then there was this gray, and I got scared, but then I told myself it was fine, and the gray spread, and I just ignored it. And it's... oh god, it really... and then it was there during the fight when I told myself he hated me. Oh god. Oh, you're right. And he is just staring down, having a miniature crisis.
Sammy's pulling him into another hug. And he goes, lying to yourself hurts when you realize what you've done. It's going to be okay. And that's not a lie.
Timmy doesn't know how to process any of this. You have hit him with so many realizations. He's just staring forward at this point.
It's gonna be okay, Timmy. Your own words can hurt you. Your own voice can hurt you. Believe me, I know. But now you know. But now you know.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Timmy just sits there, and I'll be honest, he doesn't have words at this point. There's nothing up there.
Sammy just hugs him tighter and goes, it's okay. Process. You don't have to talk about this if you don't want anymore.
God. Oh God, I'm not getting anything from the Timmy Muse. This is not a joke.
Oh, that's terrifying.
I literally, it is completely numb over there. This is not a joke. This is not me as the player messing with any of you. The Timmy Muse is generally just blanking out right now.
I think I broke Timmy.
This is good for him. This is good. And once he snaps out of whatever he's in, this will be really good because that gray was his biggest problem, and now that he can acknowledge it, he's going to fix a lot of stuff a lot faster, and this is about to speedrun his healing process in the best way, in the way that I wanted, where it was him actually learning the process things. The problem is he's had 3 crises in this one FPS, and while it seemed okay, and I was not picking up on it, and Timmy wasn't picking up on it, He's just blanked out on me.
Sammy is giving me running down to the kitchens with his IV pole, yelling for Arana for help because he broke someone. That's what he's giving me right now because.
Do we need Arana to step in?
You know what? Avi, I think I have a way to bring you in. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're gonna do 2 hammer space rolls. Okay. Neither of them were a fumble, so he pulls out his pen of waters, and then he pulls out his sketchbook, and it has a little pencil attached in the spirals, and he scribbles down, Arana, help! I think I broke someone. Holds it up, and then uses his pen of masters, or is it like whatever pen for the the ink pen thing from Glorps that allows you to cast find familiar. Yeah, pen of masters. That was kind of close. He uses his pen of masters to summon his service familiar, which is a little ferret that looks like it's like semi-transparent watercolor-esque kind of like ink, like watercolor swirling in water kind of style. That kind of like a little ferret like that, and Sammy kind of just attaches the note to the little service vest it has, and he goes, "Go find Arana, okay?" And the little pen, the little. I can't look at the gallery right now. I'm dying.
I'm in the BBC informing them of our crimes. We might need to call it a. We might want to call it. I'm gonna be honest. I think this is about to go into a second FPS. So we might want to call this one and take about a 15-minute break and start a new FPS with a trio because I think we have. Okay. Hi, audience.
Wait, I'm just gonna really quickly detail that.
Yeah.
Like his familiar scurries off with like a little wet plot of paws hitting the tile. Scurries off, and Sammy's just holding on to Timmy, going, "Oh no, I broke him. Oh no."
Yeah. So thank you. I say we split this into part 1 and part 2 because I do need like a good 15-minute break before we go into full other FPS.
We do, yeah.
Plus, this way we can separate the spoilers, possibly. I mean, not the spoilers, the warnings. But
yeah.
All right, thank you, audience, for joining us on this fun ride. Did not expect to break a boy today.
Yeah, no. I was expecting if at least the person who was going to be quote-unquote a little broken was going to be Sammy, because he was just giving me very, not very good vibes before this. Because I will admit he wasn't the best mentally when Timmy showed up, but it's kind of gotten shoved away at this point because, I've broken a person. Oh no.
I mean, there was a lot of fluff. There was good fluff in that Timmy, even though it wasn't on tension, Timmy did, I feel like, help Sammy a bit, and Sammy found someone who could talk to. And Sammy got the feeling of being able to help someone, even if it has not gone the way expected.
Like, Sammy has actually come up with a epiphany that I will have to unpack later. Like, he has an idea going forward how he can help with the toon trade without actually getting himself involved. Like he did.
Like, it's helpful.
Camille's case.
And Sammy now has someone who will hold him back, who will take Sammy by the wrist and go, don't do what I would do. And Timmy now has someone who would go, don't do what I will do. This was very important for both of them.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Thank you, audience, for joining us. There will be a part 2 very soon, but we are ending this FPS for now. Bye!